this time we're not actually in any existing project. What I could do is utilize the demo project perhaps that we were using previously. That's the one with all the standard AutoCAD setup, model and layout tabs that we used earlier on in the course. In fact, what we will do is we will use that one for now. What I'm going to show you is how to use existing templates that already exist in AutoCAD. I've got a blank Imperial drawing open, no title block, no setup, no layers, nothing. What I'm going to do is load up an existing template. Now, if you remember rightly, we set up the startup variable here in AutoCAD earlier previously in the course. So we go to New, and my startup variable is still switched on. This time though, instead of just selecting Imperial and going for a blank drawing, we go to Use a Template, and we'll use the AutoCAD Electrical template. Now this is a default template, it's a default Imperial template. So I'll select that and I'll click on OK. What that does is it opens up a whole new drawing for me. You'll notice at the top of the screen now that is drawing3.dwg. So what I'll do there is I'll do a save as, and it's in the drawings folder already for this section. So there's some of the demo ones that we were using earlier. What I'm going to do is save this as an existing template. So I'll just give it the name existing template, click on save, and that saves that drawing as an existing drawing. I'll click on the save icon there instead of save as, and that just tidies up the actual file name at the top of the screen there. Now this is actually a block, and the good thing about AutoCAD blocks is you can assign them attributes. So if I just drag this up a little bit by using pan, and then zoom in a little bit, you'll see that I've got information built into this block, such as the drawing file name, the engineer, checked by, drawn by. So if I just double click when that highlights, I get an enhanced attribute editor come up. So I can click on drawn by there and put a value in there, put my initials in, SCB, and I can put the drawing number. Let's say the drawing number is 1000-001, like so. And then we're looking at sheets there. So the number of sheets will say that there's 1. And as I start adding this information, you can see it in the background. It's all beginning to obviously tidy up. So there's the sheet number there, checked by. So let's put a different initial in there. Let's say BWF. I don't know who that is. It's just an initial I thought of. But you can put all of this information in. Title 1, Title 2, Title 3. So as I scroll along here, I can put the information into the drawing. So there's Title 1 there, so I'll put sample drawing perhaps. So I'll just scroll down the list, Title 1 and sample drawing. When I apply all of that and click on OK, you can see that it's occupied that title block for me. Now these existing templates in AutoCAD are extremely useful because it saves you having to create one. If I just double click and do a zoom extents there, that's a perfectly useful template that you can use. Obviously, you've got the Autodesk bit in there. Now, what you can do is you can edit that block reference. So what we can do is we can click on it once, right-click, and on the properties, I can go into the block editor. If I zoom in there now, I can actually take away that piece of text and put my own logo in there. So if I click on that now, I can delete it, like so, close the block editor, and it will say, do I want to save those changes? Yes, I do. So now I've got the opportunity to put my own logo in there. So use these AutoCAD provided templates. They're very, very useful, quick and easy, as you can see. You can use the block editor to edit the title block and put your own logo in there and assign ownership to that drawing. So use your existing templates in AutoCAD Electrical. They're very useful, very clean, easy, quick to use. We're now back in the connector drawing, which you will find in your work files. It's also in the point-to-point project here, sample projects in AutoCAD Electrical, and I'm back in that connector.dwg file. Now what I want to look at now is using layers in AutoCAD Electrical. Now we did discuss this slightly earlier about the use of color and the use of layer names to obviously identify, in this case in the connector diagram, the wires going from one connector to the other. I'm going to zoom in on a particular part of the connector diagram. So we're looking at the rocker switches here, and you can see, look, there's the connectors 1, 2 and 3, and there's the wiring looms coming off 100, 101, 102 and so on. Now, the colours denote which wire is which. So you can see there, yellow is 101, blue is 100, and so on. Let's look at these layers and how they work. If I go up here to the Layers panel, which is in the Home tab there on the ribbon, and I'm going to go to this icon here, Layer Properties. As soon as I go in there, I get the Layer Properties Manager. Now, this is a big palette. You might want to expand it by highlighting the corner with the arrows and drag. You can make it bigger. And also as well, you might want to perhaps change some of the field columns like that. Now, I'm going to expand out the layer naming column like that so that you can see in more detail what we've got here. So I've got lots of different layers in lots of different colors. And the whole idea is that all of these allow me to identify what wire is what and what color is what wire. So you'll notice 16AWG is obviously a denotation for a particular piece of wire, but I've got a red, I've got a green yellow, I've got a black, and so on. So I'm actually giving the name of the wire and the color of the wire in the layer name, and then what I'm doing as well is making sure the color of that layer assists me by finding that red on the drawing. So what I might want there is a 16AWG in blue. So what I do is I create a new layer by clicking on this icon here, New Layer, and we go for 16 AWG and then underscore or dash, whichever it is. In this case, it's a dash. You can use underscores, you can use symbols like percent symbols and so on. You can use whatever you want in the layer name itself. And in this case, blue is just BLU. Now, the blue that they're using is a cyan color, and I can tell that from the column here. We'll look at that in a moment. But I'll click here. I can then pick the color. It's this cyan color here, and it comes up cyan there in the color name. I click on OK, and there's my 16AWG blue. Now, if I just make that a bit bigger, there we go. You can see there's that cyan there. There's also magenta, yellow, white, and so on. I can then make that layer current. At the moment, the 0 layer is current because it's got the green tick next to it. I've selected my new 16AWG blue. Click on the green tick. That makes that the current drafting layer. So anything I draw now will be on that layer. So if I close the Layer Properties Manager and go and draw, say, a line, just draw a line here like that from there to there, and then press Enter to finish, that is on my 16AWG blue because it's the current drafting layer. If I highlight this layer, it tells me that that is 20AWG yellow. I'll hit Escape to deselect. Now, the good thing is I can go here on the layer pull down and pick a color that I want to use. I click on the name of the layer, that then becomes the current layer. So if I draw a line again now, you'll see there it draws it on the different layer, thus making it a different wire. Now, the nice thing I can do is I can select that one there, and what I can do is go, I want that to be on the 20AWG yellow as well. So I can just select a layer and change the properties of that line. So it's very quick and very easy to utilize these layers. Now, something else you can do as well, which not many people know about, is over here, right over on the clipboard panel, there's a Match Properties option. So if I click on Match Properties and come into the drawing area, it asks me to select a source object with the pick box. So if I pick that layer there, click there, and select the destination objects, that one and that one, it updates onto that layer. So I press Enter to finish. So that layer there has now become 20AWG blue. So if you've got a whole load of layers that are on the 0 layer, the default layer, but you want to update them to a particular layer, use Match Properties. Find one of the existing colors that you need, use that as your source object, and then the destination objects are the ones on the 0 layer that you want to convert to the new layer. So there's lots of tools in there with layers that you can use, and as we work through this course, if there's anything about layers you need to know, I will make sure that I tell you.